Hi, my name is Steve, and this is the After Effects Fundamentals. Now, in this particular kind of tutorials, there are literally four main sections, and they're going to be talking about how the interface works, right? Now, these tutorials are divided into four main sections. One, we're going to talk about what the toolbar is. The second one, we're going to talk about what the menu bar is. The third one, we're talking about the project panel and the composition, and then lastly, we're going to talk about the timeline and everything to literally how everything literally works in the timeline. So it's going to be mainly about literally explaining how different things work, so that by the time you literally can get hands-on into the keyframes and learning how the animations work, you already know actually what to do, right? You already know how literally everything works. So without any further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. When you open up After Effects for the first time, this is the kind of interface that you normally see or come with. Apparently, we have a section where we have our recent projects, like all the recent projects that we've done, and we can either create a new project or open up a new project. So if you create a new project, as you can see, it takes us to the to the interface and all that kind of stuff. If at all probably somebody sent you some sort of a project, that they worked on or something, so you can just click on Open Project, and then it can literally take you where that project is, or you can just go to where it actually is, the folder where you saved it. So apparently I'm just going to close that one because most of the time you're not going to actually need it, right? So anyway, this up here, what we have is what we call the menu bar, and down here we have what we call the toolbar. Now the menu bar actually has almost everything to do with After Effects, like everything we see right here. Now these are the UI interfaces of After Effects. Now whatever you see in the UI is literally what is existent here in the menu bar. So all these the effects, the edit and other kind of stuff, they're literally it's literally a full composition of what's existent in the UIs that we're seeing here. So whatever is existent in what you can see here, the UI is actually what's up here. So I think we can just keep that at the back of your mind. So I'm not going to talk about everything within the menu bar because it's not so important. What's more important is actually the things you can actually see in the interface. So in the first of all, we have the file. Well, here you can actually create a new project, or you can click Ctrl-Alt-N, or you can create a new folder by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Shift-N. You can open the project, open recent, just like how we saw earlier on. You can browse in Bridge. You can close the project, and save as and all kind of stuff. But normally you're going to press Ctrl-S or Ctrl-Shift-S and all that kind of stuff. So you can import a file. We should explore these when we're dealing with project pan and all that kind of stuff. You can export file or multiple files or that kind of stuff. So you can apparently what we're going to be using in the file is more of exporting, because this has nothing like a shortcut, but most of the other tutorials and other kind of stuff, like other stuff, you're going to just learn the shortcuts. They're actually going to make it the job easy for you. So here you're going to be either exporting to Adobe Media Encoder or Adobe Render Quay. So apparently I'm using After Effects 2023, so it has literally the H.264 exporting, so I don't need Adobe Media Encoder. By H.264 I mean exporting in MP4 directly. So that's what we used to use Media Encoder for. So here you can open up the scripts and all that kind of stuff. So that's really all to do with the file. So here in the edit, it has to do with the copy, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-X and all that kind of stuff. Like most of those are going to be actually using shortcuts, as I will show you in the tutorials. So apparently the most important thing right here is due to the purging. You can purge all memory and disk caches. So as you can see, I'm having cache files of 123 MB. So I'll just literally purge them, and then we literally continue. So here you can actually set up the keyboard shortcuts apparently. So most of them I'm going to set up, they're already set. I think I'm just going to go with the default. So you can also go to the preferences. I think that's the two most important things in the preferences menu. So you can literally come here and click on some of the preferences. So I think I'll make some sort of a separate tutorial for this. We're not going to go through them because there are quite many. Right, the layer panel is the composition panel apparently is literally opening in the composition, but we're going to be using the shortcut Ctrl-N, or just like I said, whatever existent up there is actually still in the composition in the UI interfaces. So we can also just click on the composition up here. So the layer panel, everything's literally grayed out because whatever we have to do with the layers is literally opened up when we start dealing with the layers themselves. So apparently we have no layer open, so most of them are literally grayed out. So because of that, we're going to just skip it, and we shall come back to it when the layers are open. So After Effects, effects apparently they're also grayed out because we have nothing to apply the effects to. So when you start literally dealing with effects and all that kind of stuff, we shall actually explore them. Animation, so this is where you actually deal. Now effects, this is where you apply all the effects and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be showing us some of the plugins that we can actually embrace. And then to make the work easy, but by default we're going to be using the effects in here, but there's some sort of a panel to do with it. We shall explore that in a bit. Animations, this is where you actually create some sort of keyframes and all that kind of stuff. Like most of these we're going to explore them, but you can create presets and all that kind of stuff, like mock growths. We normally call them mock growths, that you can actually apply in Premiere Pro. So the next one, we have the view panel. This is where we actually deal with the view. Now, I'm sorry, I'm literally recording this during the day, and there are birds everywhere. Some kids were literally crying all over the place. So, guys, please literally endure that. I'm trying to become as loud as possible, to literally, outspeak most of those stuff that are actually out there. So, I think next time I'll be recording this at night, though I know I prefer recording it during the day. So, anyway, the next one we have the Windows panel. Here we can actually change different workspaces. I'm just thinking. Most of you guys are literally using the LAN kind of workspace because that's what is actually provided by After Effects, like the first time you open up After Effects. I'll just probably encourage you to use the standard. I'm apparently using the standard one. I'll show you guys how to create a custom kind of, a workspace that you actually want. You can drag the workspaces around. You can change stuff around. I can literally change the project from there and literally put it just this side or literally drag it back. So you can create some sort of a custom workspace. I'll be showing you guys in a separate tutorial about that. So the next one, we have extensions. Now most of you guys are not having extensions. So most of them are literally bought. Some of them are free, but most of them are literally bought. So we're not going to talk about them. So apparently we have everything to do with all the panels apparently. So as you can see, all the panels, we are having them the line panel, which is actually here. So you can actually see it right there. If we unclick it, it literally gets out of the UI view, right? So let's just click it because I normally love having the panel literally open. So that, my friend, is actually all to do now. The help. Anyway, let me just talk about it. With the help, you can actually see the version of After Effects actually using, and then you can see the amount of RAM that actually using. Some RAM using 1% out of 23.8 GBs of RAM. Yeah. So literally that's all to do with it. I think you're not going to actually use the whole kind of a thing, not so much of the time. So literally that's all to do with the toolbar section. With the menu bar section, I know I literally confused the two. With the menu bar section, so in the next kind of section, we're going to explore the tools and all that kind of stuff, like how to use the toolbar just right here. And that's literally all for this session, and see you guys in the next session. I just wanted to make it as minimal as possible because we're not here for the talking. We actually want to learn animation, and of course you must know what some of these things literally are, but they're not as important as the real animation. So guys, see you next in the next section that we're going to have exploring the toolbar, the project panel, and then of course the composition in the timeline. Thank you.